Now, before we get into today's video, I just wanted to take a second to say thank you to all the new people who has subscribed and everyone who's been around helping me get to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate your support for this very small channel. Katerina and I just got back from our Portugal road trip, and I'm super excited to share those videos with you because we found some really cool and secret photo spots, as well as some interesting things to do, see, and of course, great places to eat. So if you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to see those videos coming really soon. But that's not the topic of today's video, obviously. That's not why you clicked. You're here because you want the update on this lens right here. And I'll be honest, I really like it. Now, if you haven't seen the video that I originally made about the lens, explaining why I got it, it's really simple. It's because shooting on the Sony A7 IV, which I love, in the 4K 60 mode, there is a 1.5 times crop. So in order to get really nice, wide, slow motion shots in that shooting frame rate, you have to put this lens on, because with this lens on, it effectively gives you a 16 millimeter field of view. And so when I'm shooting in 4K 60 and I want really nice wide shots, that's what I've been using. I've also have used it as the main lens on a lot of my videos, like my IFA video. I used it the entire time in 24p, 30p, 60p, and it's been my one and done lens when I'm sort of being lazy and I don't want to carry around a lot of lenses. But while using it, I have discovered another way that you can use it. So let me put this lens on so I can better explain. Okay, so as you can see, right now I'm shooting with the Sony A7 IV with the 20 millimeter G, and you can see that it is in 24p and it's shooting in the full frame mode. But when I swap the lens, I'm just gonna quickly swap the lens here. When I swap the lens, you'll see that it automatically goes into the APS-C mode. So now that we're in the APS-C mode, you can see from the previous shot that it got even wider, which is great. It has that 16 millimeter point of view. And when you're in the 4K 60, there's no way to take you out of this crop mode. But when you are in 24p or 30p, you actually can. So I'm going to just quickly switch modes right now, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so now I've taken the camera out of APS-C mode. It is shooting with the full sensor, and as you can see, it's really, really wide, and it has a pretty big vignette, which obviously you're not going to use it like this. However, if you put the camera into active stabilization, I'll see if I can do this blindly. It won't let me do it because I'm recording. But when you do that, the active stabilization will give you a 1.1 times crop, which will make the 11 millimeter have a 12.1 field of view. So let me just switch to that. And now, boom. Now we're shooting in 4K, 24p with active stabilization on, and it pretty much eliminates all of the vignetting. So as you can see, you can get a really nice field of view. And this is going to be really, really great for people who want even more wide, get really extremely wide landscapes, and it's perfect for real estate on the A7 IV. So let me give you some comparison shots so you can see what that looks like. All right, so this is 4K, 24p in APS-C mode with no stabilization on, and this is what it looks like. Now with regular stabilization, it'll also look like this. So you can see how wide it looks. And next we'll switch over to active stabilization. And now this is active stabilization, and this is how wide that looks. It just has the APS-C mode plus a little bit extra of a crop, that extra 10%. So 4K, 24p, APS-C mode with active stabilization. And this is what that looks like and how wide that is. And lastly, this is 4K, 24p in full frame mode with active stabilization. So effectively, this 11 millimeter lens is now about 12 millimeters because of the 1.1 times crop. So I think it's quite usable. I'll take it out in the real world to show you what it looks like while it's moving around, because when the sensor is shifting, you can kind of see the edges have a bit of vignette. So you may have to punch in 1 or 2% in post, which would then make this lens more like a 13 maybe, but I still think that's plenty wide. Like, look how wide this is. You can basically see the entirety of my home. So enough sitting at the desk. Let's take it out into the city so I can actually show you some footage of what that looks like in a real world use case. Now, while I was making this video, one of the viewers of the channel asked how the lens handles in low light. So I thought I would go somewhere pretty dark and grab some footage so you all can take a look at that. Right now, we're 24 frames per second, 4K, shutter speed 1/50, f-stop is 1.8, and the ISO is at 1600. So it's pretty lit up here right now, so it's probably going to look okay, but I'm going to go somewhere quite dark, and then I'll cycle through all the ISOs from 800 all the way up to 6400 is what I would use. So let's go take a look at that. This is 800 ISO, 1000, 1250, 1600, 2000, 2500, 3200, 4000, 5000, 6400. This is 800, 1000, 1250, 1600, 2000, 2500, 3200, 4000, 5000, 6400. So that is pretty much it for this update video on the Sony 11mm 1.8. And if you found it useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all the free things you can do to support other creators and artists. And as always, live passionately and stay inspired.